You're listening to the Monday Night Community Show with Daniel on BRFM.
This is the Daniel Monday Night Community Show on demand through YouTube. Thank you very much for choosing to listen to us through this method. If you'd like to keep up to date with when I add new interviews, then subscribe to this channel. And we're next going to be talking all about Davy Jones Locker. Firstly, thank you very much for coming along this evening. I was hoping you could introduce yourself to our listeners and tell them a little bit about yourself to start us off.
Hello, thank you for having me. My name is Eleonora and I'm a second year student at Christchurch University in Canterbury. I'm a cellist and I'm doing a bit of composition as well every now and then. And I have been involved with Davy Jones Locker for about 6 months, I believe, yeah.
So could you tell our listeners more about Davy Jones Locker?
Well, Davy Jones Locker is a project that's been running for about 18 months, and our aim is to bring music into people's living rooms. So basically we're trying to choose our repertoire, our music repertoire, based on the composers. So for example, we're only playing music by living composers. Everyone knows about Mozart or Beethoven, but nobody really knows about living composers. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to reach out to people and to present them a new kind of music.
I was hoping you could tell us next how many performances have there actually been?
In the last 18 months, we had about 50 performances around Kent, and recently we've been performing in Swale as well. And we basically just go into people's living rooms, and they're actually promoting their own event. So they ask their friends, their family to come over and just listen to a bit of contemporary classical music, yeah.
So how many people do you think you've reached?
I think hundreds. I remember having our concert at the Beanie Museum in Canterbury, and I think over there we had probably about 200 people coming in and listening to us. So yeah, hundreds of people, yeah.
So a fair amount. How have your sort of audiences found it and you found it?
I think it's been fantastic. Basically, they responded very well to our music and to our aims, and people are being stimulated and they're curious about what we're doing and this sort of new music. And even myself, because I'm a classically trained musician, I've been growing up with Mozart and Beethoven and Bach, and now I'm playing music by living composers. And it's a different style, to be honest, a different technique. I'm using the cello differently, and it's really challenging sometimes, but it's very rewarding. After you learn those pieces, you just realize how complex they are and how different they are from the classical music. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to reach out to people and to make them aware that actually we have living composers as well. They write such good music, and just try to detach ourselves from the classical repertoire.
And I was hoping you could tell us next how you're funded.
So basically, at every concert, we take donations from people attending the concert or our hosts, and we're also funded by Ideas Test.
Now, we mentioned earlier on that there's going to be a performance locally, and you'll do more standard venues, so I was hoping you could tell us about that.
So basically, next week on the 22nd of May, we're going to have a concert at the Sheppey Little Theatre, and the concert will begin at 8 o'clock, and you'll also have the opportunity to meet the performance at 7:15, and the tickets can be purchased from Sheppey Glass.
And I was hoping before you start, if you could just tell our listeners a little bit about this piece.
All right. So during this series, I had the opportunity to perform some of my compositions as well. So I was basically playing this composition to the audiences, and it's basically an unfinished piece, and I'm still working on it, and I haven't found a title for it yet. However, it's been great collaborating with the audiences, and I was just playing it for them and then asking for their thoughts on it, and just ask them if they have any ideas for a title or what they're thinking about when they listen to it. So it's a great way to collaborate with the audiences and just maybe even influence my next part of the composition.
We've been talking all about Davy Jones Locker. We just had amazing performance live in the studio by our guest as well. Thank you very much for doing that. And I was hoping you could just refresh our listeners on your next performance and go over any useful contact details.
All right, so because we're finishing our series in Swale, we're finishing our living room concerts in Swale. We have our last concert in the Sheppey Little Theatre, and that's next Friday at 8 o'clock. And if you want to meet the performers, that'll be at 7:15. And you can also purchase the tickets from Sheppey Glass. And if you want to follow us on Twitter, we have Twitter page at Opera Activist. And also if you want to follow us on Facebook, our Facebook page is called Davy Jones Locker.
Well, I'd like to thank you very much for coming up here this evening and telling us all about what you're doing.
Thank you very much.
That is us hearing all about Davy Jones Locker this evening right here at the Monday Night Community Show on BRFM.